Okay, Facebook, we are back. I had to go check on Jeremiah and make sure he was okay because his little head, he hadn't had a headache in a long time. Last night we were up and the girls came by. The two oldest girls, well actually the three, they came by and they had gifts. Thank the Lord. They brought us gifts, and so I got a 3-stand, look like a lamp, candle holder with rocks around. It's almost like one of those meditation things. And the girls got jewelry, and they accidentally forgot Jeremiah. How could you forget the man? She said, I really, really forgot, Mama. Said, because I'm walking through the store, and they probably shopping, they all shopping, and she accidentally forgot Jeremiah. But anyway, we're going to pick up the conversation. We're talking about single fathers. Amen. And as we spoke earlier about the young lady we had during the commercial breaks, we had a lot of comments. Amen. Amen. Shoot me your comments. That's how I pick them up. During the commercial break, we had a lot of comments, especially about the first one. The second one, we had a lot of folks wanted to give their opinion even on that one. We don't want to go back to that one. We want to talk about how does dating, or does it? Because someone asked this question. What happens? What happens? Okay? When there's no one around to keep the child? What happens when you're in a strange place, perhaps, or maybe you're military and your parents are not there? You have to pay for daycare. You have to pay for daycare to get that date started. You may have to, some of you are struggling like single mothers. Do they get the same benefits? Do you think single fathers get the same or receive the same benefits as single mothers? Ooh, that's a good topic. I would have to be in a room full of people right now because I can't answer that. I've seen single fathers turn away sometime. Amen, depending on who it is. A lot of times they look at fathers differently. But I honor those fathers who gets in there, roll up their sleeve and say, in spite of. Those are good parents, really. Because there are fathers that will walk away. Just because or even though the parent or the mother is having problems, he wouldn't stay there. He wouldn't take it upon himself to take his children or his child. Amen. I think it's beautiful when a father, I believe a father probably can take care of his daughter a little better than a mother. Amen. Because little girls are glued to their fathers. They really are. They love their fathers. Yes, they do. And so fathers, because he's already attracted to females, because that goes back to the teaching I taught you. I think it was about a year ago, that the little boys, the reason why they're so close to their mothers is because what's inside. There is a light bulb. There's a switch. And that switch says female alert, because he's supposed to be turned on by the opposite sex. Amen. And so his mother is a different gender. Amen. And so they glue a little bit. Yeah, for the feminine, the masculine in life, masculine really doesn't, they don't like masculine. Excuse me, something is hitting me this morning. Masculinity is not turned on by masculinity. Yeah, even when you see a man and a man together, they're not turned on because they're both men. Amen. One of them has feminine ways, and then there's another one that comes in and they're attracted to it. So masculinity is always drawn to femininity, and I believe that. And so he can sense that there's a female present. Amen. And vice versa with the daughters. So little boys are attracted to their mothers. Amen. Because they fit together. And men are attracted, or their daughters are attracted to their fathers. They're closer. Amen. And so I think it's beautiful when a male can pick up and take on the responsibility of a female. Now the hygiene part, that comes naturally. He knows what to teach her. That shouldn't be a difficult part. I would think that the hardest part is trying to get into those intimate areas. Like when your daughters come to you and she talks about a period, because there's an age where my children stop coming to me talking about their periods, unless it's really urgent. They don't come to me and talk about their periods. And when they were younger and they had a issue between their legs, amen, because this get a little deep being a parent. My daughters would have an issue between their legs, and I would have to go in there and open it up. Even when they got a little older, if they said something about that. I know y'all said take them to the doctor. No, you don't take them to the doctor. Those are your kids. Why you can't open up their legs and look on the inside of it? My children got a little older and they would say, Mama, something is hurting. Little girls go through that. And you look and see if they have a rash or anything. And sometimes you have to powder it down. Amen. Sometimes you can't powder right. You get a little bigger, you teach them how to take the powder and you wipe it around them and whatever, to cool them down, an ointment or whatever it is you have to put on them. But daddies don't want to do that. Yeah, come on. I wish I had some real daddies here that can tell me what? Do you, if you're a single father, can you go in and gel it? How do you feel when you go in and you rub on your daughters? Amen. Because we do that as mothers, as females. If they have a rash and they give them ointment, you have to go and rub it on the little girl parts and even on the buttocks sometimes, will a man do that? Amen. What would happen in that case? How far would he go in being a parent? Because I don't think there's anything wrong with it. But we're so skeptical nowadays. We may think there's something wrong with a male going in between his child's legs and massaging it, washing it down. I'm not talking about sexually. I'm not talking about touching them sexually. I'm talking about medicating them down. Amen. Or even powdering down after a bath. You give your child a bath and you rub them on their chest and you blow on their belly. I do that. I used to do that with my babies. You blow on their bellies and you bite on their cheeks and stuff like that because you love your child. When a mother's doing it to her child, female child, is fine. But when a father does it, well, how does he feel? What happens? And so, yeah, there are times that most folks think that it's harder to be a male parent than it is to be a female. I got that response. It is more difficult for a female than a male with his child than it is with a female. Do you agree with that? Okay, because I've heard it's easier. And then there's more grandparents who steps in when there is a male and he is a single father. Amen. Amen. And so, wow, my battery is low. Okay. I'll put you on a charger. But I do honor these fathers, and they do need to be given their props. I wanna see them when they grow up, because having especially girls in the house, I've seen some male parents with their little girls after they grow up, and the girl is so sassy and bad and smart mouth, and a lot of the daddies take down. Yeah, you will see fathers, they would close down to their children. Even if you're not a caretaker, and maybe the little girl's down to visit. I remember one time I went to Georgia, and the girls were with their father, and I was blessed to, actually I was supposed to be over a friend's house, just drop them off, and I noticed he never disciplined them. He did do their hair though. He did their hair all the time. He pushed their hair back. I never helped. And then I sat back, and we used to live down there. And I would let him be the father. They were down there for him. And so they didn't want to go to school. One of them, she didn't want to go to school. And he would look, and he used to work the night shift. And so that's one of the reasons I would go with the kids. And that's my oldest girl's father. I went down there, and he worked the night shift. And we slept in separate rooms. We were like brothers and sisters. We used to be real close, my oldest girl's father. And so he worked the night shift. He would come home, and she was standing on the porch, and I didn't know it. And so he came walking in the house, and I'm looking, I said, where are you going with her? She don't want to go to school. What? She needs to go down to the bus stop, but she doesn't want to go. What do you mean she don't want to go to school? She don't want to go down there to the bus stop. I don't know. You need to talk to her. That's what he said. You need to talk to her. She don't want to go. So he wasn't going to make her go to school. And I'm thinking, you're not going to discipline that child? He would never discipline him. He would never discipline him. And when he got married, I believe one of the problems he had in his marriage, he didn't want to discipline him, and he didn't want her to discipline him. I remember having a good relationship with his wife, and she would always call and say, he don't want me to even do their hair. I would call him because we were real close. So why you don't want her to take the responsibility of a stepmother? He said, they're not her kids. Those are my kids. Those are our kids. That's the way he felt. Those are our kids. She don't need to discipline. Don't scream at him. And so later on, after they divorced, and he's probably listening to me too, but later on after they divorced, he told me she wasn't really like that. She was like that when she was with you. Amen. Amen. We can get a little deep in this conversation. She was only like that when she was around you. She felt like she was so caring and sharing. But when we were one-on-one, believe me, B, he got it. And I couldn't see her that way because she would always talk to me about the kids. And I thought we had a good relationship. And he told me it wasn't like that. She would always get on him about the kids. She would always say negative things about the kids, you know. And so he didn't want her to touch his kids. Those were his kids. And so when he called me and he forbidden her from doing everything with the kids, it's because she didn't want to be a parent. He would tell me that. And I got pictures of her bathing the children and everything. And I thought she was a good parent. But he said it's not so. It was only when she was in front of you. But afterwards, she wasn't the same. So we'll be back. We're going to go to